What's up YouTube? A few months ago I did these kind of videos where I talked about different wrestlers and gave my honest opinion about them. So I decided like we haven't done a part 3 in a while and like those videos did well, so like we should probably do a third. Yeah, I didn't want to do this one alone. I've been collabing with a bunch of people, so I figured we'd go ahead and keep the trend going. I brought on special guests.
Hi, I'm Malcolm. I don't know how you start your videos because I don't watch your videos. Hi, I'm gonna be doing a video called How I Really Feel About Wrestlers, and I guess this one will be joining me too. I mean, after all, it was my idea in the first place and he stole it from me. So that's really cool, and I can't really do anything about it because I don't upload. Also, he has more subscribers than me. I've compiled a list. I wrote down a list of names.
Why is everybody so mean to me? What? Why? What?
So, number 1, the Young Bucks. If you know me, you know that I love Matt with all my heart. I think he's hilarious. I think he is incredibly entertaining. I think he's a great wrestler. Nick, however, Nick is cool. Nick does more flips than Matt, so that's nice, but Matt has a bad back. So I bet if Matt didn't have a bad back, then they'd be doing the same amount of flips. Can you really say that Nick is the better wrestler than Matt? Maybe. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. But I like Matt more than I like Nick. I think a lot of people like Matt more than they like Nick. I gravitate towards Matt more, maybe because of the beautiful long hair, but no, I just think he's more entertaining and more funny. Nick is cool too, but I like Matt more.
Orange Cassidy. I guess my only issue with Orange Cassidy is that like AEW might make him look like a potential #1 contender for the world title because he was in that ladder match. I know he didn't win, but it's like he's a great character and maybe should be a champion eventually, but like I don't think putting him in line for the world title is the best look for the company. And he's not like a comedy wrestler like Cabana that can kind of, you know, translate in between. He's like a comedy wrestler that is a comedy wrestler. Like there's nothing else but the comedy.
Seth Rollins. When I'm talking about wrestlers, I usually tiptoe around the point because I don't want to say how I actually feel about them. I do not like Seth Rollins. I think that he's very immature. I think I would like him if he didn't have a Twitter because he basically just ruins and shits all over himself on Twitter when he just gets himself involved into things that didn't concern him or he thinks people are talking about him. I think he can just be very insecure at times, which sucks because I know fans of Seth who used to be fans of Seth, but then they saw the way he acted and things he said, then they just aren't fans of him anymore. I think that he's a great wrestler, and yes, I can separate the character from the person, but Seth wasn't like a standout to me in the Shield. I liked Roman. I never really gravitated towards Seth, but he's a good wrestler, but that's about it for me. When you see how a person acts, it can kind of ruin them as a whole for you, you know?
Karrion Kross is Scarlett Bordeaux. Okay, so I still think Karrion's a dumb name. Everyone thinks it's a really cool name or whatever. I know he picked it out himself, but like I think it's a dumb name. Killer Kross way more, but obviously they're not gonna have Killer Kross because they're not have a guy named Killer in WWE, which whatever. I hope they just use him correctly. He's not just like a big bad monster guy because like eventually they always get beat and then they become kind of bland. I just want to see more character development. The entrance, it's a banger, but I just want to see more development of like exactly what he is. Like I don't really get that whole like Hitman vibe that I got like in Impact Wrestling. It's like I want to see more of that. You can say Hitman, like Bret Hart was there, so you can say Hitman. Hopefully they can just find their happy medium of like not having to say killer, but also he can be like the murderer and the Hitman type gimmick that he has. And Scarlett, I mean, I don't think she really needs to be with him. I think she can do well on her own, but good for them, I guess.
Okay, not to be serious. Cody Rhodes. Back to back. I also did not gravitate towards Cody Rhodes. I liked Kenny over Cody, and then when Cody turned on Kenny, I really didn't like Cody. You know, that entire feud is over now. That happened like years ago, and look at me still holding on to grudges because I'm me. Cody is probably great. He's probably great. He's probably amazing. He's just not it for me. From what I've heard backstage, how he helped Britt Baker, how he helps all these people, how he helped create AEW, I will be forever grateful for him. I think he puts on amazing matches, but he rubs me like we don't, you know? You know what I mean?
Aiden English. Okay, I had a little beef with Aiden at one point because he turned on Rusev and I wanted him fired. I didn't actually want him fired. That was a ploy, a gimmick, kayfabe per se. I could see him be like a commentator for another like smaller promotion, like an MLW or like an NWA type of thing, but like I can't really see him wrestling on the indies. Like it doesn't really fit his vibe at all. So like, I don't know. Not a bad commentator. It's pretty decent. So I feel like he should be a commentator for like a major promotion. Like he should not downgrade himself to like super local talent status. Like he should actually like be a commentator for like an MLW type of show, you know?
Liv Morgan, she's also probably great. I do think she's a bit overrated, and you know, it's really hard to tell, especially when men like, you know, women wrestlers, it's hard to tell if they only like them for their looks. From what I've seen with Liv, the support she gets, it's mostly, well, there are, you know, a lot of male wrestling fans. Wow, crazy, right? It seems to me that like the support she gets is just not all of her male fans, but some of her male fans, most, or the ones I've seen, are just like talking about how hot she is and how sexy she is and how they want to, you know, her. I can't really differentiate if they actually like her because she's a good wrestler or they just like her because she's pretty, and that's not her fault. She's very pretty. I loved her. I loved her so much in NXT. Well, I mean, I feel like you can say this about anybody. You love them in NXT, and then when they come up, it's like, I loved Lacey Evans in NXT. I stand her so hard. I stand Nikki Cross in NXT. I stand Liv Morgan in NXT. She's okay. If anyone's gonna get hype, like, give it to them. Love that for them. I'm not really in the place to be like, oh, she deserves it or she doesn't deserve it. I just really don't see the hype. Wish I loved her as much as other people did because I want to like more women's wrestlers. But I think she's a bit overrated. I don't know. There's like, not like, there's been a couple moves she's done to me where I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. I don't really see like crazy things she's done. I'm not really wowed by her.
Hangman Adam Page, everyone thought he was always the biggest joke in being the elite, or the elite in general, and like they were never wrong. He kind of was like the weak link, and like I still consider him kind of the weak link, to be honest. Like he hasn't really elevated himself out of that spot because like everyone in the elite is kind of superior in comparison to him, but I think he's been doing a great job character development wise. Like he feels like a legitimate alcoholic. I don't know if he actually is. Hope he isn't. He does a great job as a drunk uncle character. When he was gone for X amount of months, right? When he came back, it felt like he had never left. If you establish a character that well to the point where like people are like, oh yeah, he's back in the swing of things, like nothing happened, I feel like you're doing something right. He definitely is making himself feel more like a guy that should be a world champion one day, rather than like, you know, the guy that was in the first world title match but probably won't ever get the title after that. The guy's been doing well. I don't really have any hate for him. That's all I really got.
Matt Hardy. I was a Jeff girl. I was a Matt Jackson girl. I was a Jeff girl. I think he's hilarious. I think his bit on being the elite is hilarious. This is really random, but you know, I have a bunch of wigs and I wanted to get a wig, and you know how Matt has the red streak? I wanted to do that like here. I don't know if it's because of Matt, but I think it looks great. I think he's so creative. He really does think outside of the box, and I think that's why he's kept a career for so long, because he keeps evolving and changing with all his characters.
Kelly, I want to interview her. That's why I'm putting her in this video. I want to interview Kelly. That would be so cool. She was like my childhood, bro. And like, I want to interview Kelly, man. That's all I want, bro.
My girl Britt Baker. This shirt is great. I think Britt Baker is amazing. I found her through Adam Cole. She's definitely grown so much in AEW. Like when she first started out, I think she had like a fan base, but I think being a face did not help her. I think being a heel definitely helped her because she did need something to push her career. I think being a face sometimes can be boring. She hasn't been wrestling for a long time. I think maybe 3 or 4 years. I might be wrong, but I think around 3 or 4 years. The heel character definitely helped her a lot. If you watch her promo from the Jericho Cruise to last Wednesday or whenever you're watching, this is 2025. Did we make it out of 2020? Are we all dead? It's just really nice to see someone grow and evolve into such an amazing heel and just wrestler.
MVP, I don't want him to wrestle anymore. He's still like kind of low-key tag teaming with Bobby Lashley, but like I'm not trying to see MVP wrestle anymore. He's just past his prime. He can still go in the ring. He's just not, he doesn't like go in the ring, you feel? Like he's not like 2008 MVP, which I mean, you know, that was like over a decade ago, which is so weird to say, but that was over a decade ago.
Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle gets a lot of heat backstage and on Twitter and just from people in general. I think he's a very talented wrestler. I don't want to say everything's a joke to him, but he's very lighthearted and he doesn't take things too seriously. So when you have these older wrestlers that get mad over like essentially nothing, when I think Matt is just poking fun at these people. I think Chris Jericho does it too. Jericho pokes fun at people. It's really not that serious. Everything is so deep to people sometimes when it's really just not. I feel bad for him sometimes. I think Matt just wants to have fun. Even with like Tommaso. I don't really know Tommaso, but from the times I've met him and we've talked, he seems like a very chill, laid back guy. And for him to shoot on Twitter and tell Matt to go f himself, like what did he do?
Austin Theory, world champion. Put the belt on him right now. The dude has all of it, bro. Like, he literally looks like a young John Cena. I want to see him as a world champion. Like, people were talking like he was supposed to be going back down to NXT after he left the Zelina faction, but now he's with Rollins, which I think is better. You just gotta get that character together. Like, he's not a bad talker when he's not the top of the company like he wasn't involved. Then he kind of feels like, you know, a nobody. Like, if he can get a character together and get some talking together, he's set. He's set. Perfect. Wow, I sound like this man's wet dream. But honestly, the dude literally looks like a WrestleMania main event. So like, you really should.
Mandy Rose. I like Sonya better. Mandy, also probably a great girl. Did I like her in NXT? No, I don't really care for her. Never really cared for her. I don't know what Malcolm said about Scarlett. I feel like Scarlett, Mandy fall into the same category where it's like, actually, I don't feel this way about Scarlett. I kind of feel this way about Mandy. Like, do I think Mandy's a good wrestler? I guess she's good. And I think almost all of her male fan base is supporting her because she has big boobs. Understand, like, if you got it flaunted, obviously she worked really hard for her body, and if I had a body like her, I'd be, you know, I feel like aren't we trying to get away from this? Like, are we trying to get away from, ooh, I'm so sexy and hot? We were trying to get away from this. We had years of this. I don't really like female characters that are focused on body. Like, yes, it's great to have a body. I'll appreciate a body, but I want to see you wrestle. So, yeah.
Jake Atlas, this dude is phenomenal. Like, the weird like mentorship that he's kind of giving Drake Maverick. I don't know when his video's coming out and like what happened on NXT, but Jake is the rookie and technically Maverick's the veteran, even though Maverick's on his way out and Jake's on his way in. You can see why he would turn heel on Maverick, but also you can really see why he wouldn't. He'd be more of like a supporting friend, which you don't really see too much of that in wrestling. Like, if someone's like your friend in wrestling, it really means they're gonna turn on you in like 3 weeks. Is that all you have?
No, I don't have any more. Do you have any more? That's what I thought.
Had to, but
I would say I enjoyed it here, but I didn't. Just kidding. Subscribe to me. I don't really post. It'll be a surprise, you know? It'll be like a fun little surprise. Did Indigo post today? No. Oh my god, wait, she did.
But make sure to like, comment, share, and always subscribe, and to watch Indigo, because she had to, bro. No, in all seriousness, subscribe to her channel. She makes really good videos. She won't say she does, but I think they're pretty good to me. But make sure to like, comment, share, and always subscribe. And we outie.
We going up like 1,000. I'ma flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'ma flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this subscribe. If you like the channel, this subscribe. If you like the channel, this subscribe.